Hi, this is Tiffin Dillon with Your Stellar Life. I'm an astrologer and a coach, and I am creating a series this year, following the sun through the signs of the zodiac. And the first one in this series is for the sun in Aries. The sun will be moving into Aries March 19th, this Thursday, and it will stay in Aries until April 19th of 2020. And this movement of the sun from Pisces into the sign of Aries marks the beginning of the astrological year, a brand new cycle for the sun around the zodiac. And I have found for the last, probably 6 years I've been doing this, of really tracking the sun through the zodiac, and as it travels through the signs and the houses in my charts, how does that feel to me? How does it feel to me as someone with the sun in Leo for the sun to be in the different signs of the zodiac? And I want to create this series to help you begin to really be able to work with some astrology based on only knowing your sun sign, which I bet you do based on your birthday, and knowing how to partner with the sun as it travels through the zodiac. So I'm going to share my screen and have a diagram of the zodiac so that we can have a visual of this. And there we go. I'm doing this currently while the sun is in Pisces, which is a very dreamy, nuanced water sign, and it's in Pisces with Neptune and Mercury. And so it's a very intuitive, dreamy, different energy than we'll feel when the sun moves into Aries. So this is a graphic of the zodiac, and it's color coded because each of the signs of the zodiac is associated with an element. On this graph, on this picture, the orange signs, Aries, here in the first position, Leo here, and Sagittarius here. These are the fire signs, and the fire signs are about passion and identity, spirit. The fire element is one of the yang or outward directed energy elements, and these three signs have that in common. They're fire elements. The green symbol signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, are earth signs. The earth element signs are of the material world and of the senses, things that we can perceive with our physical senses, and what is real and practical. The yellow signs, Gemini here, Libra, and Aquarius, are air signs. And the air signs have to do with the intellect, the mind, with making connections and with being social. So that making connections, communication. The blue signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the water element, the water, the emotional realm, the spiritual realm. How are things feeling? Okay. So with the sun moving into Aries, March 19th and staying until April 19th, we have a month with the sun bringing the qualities of the sun. So the qualities of the sun in astrology are our consciousness, our awareness. In our birth chart, it's the core of who we are. It is our sense of self, and the sun in our birth chart, your sun sign, is the energy that you're here to embody and to radiate out from the center of who you are. So if you are someone born in Aries, these are the energies that you are here to really bring forth. So for everyone who's not in Aries, we get to work with the sun in our charts and the sun in the sky. So the sun moving through Aries for the next month is what the universe is bringing as our partner through that sun energy of consciousness. as the sun travels through the zodiac, I also like to think of it as what part of our chart is it highlighting? What part of our chart is getting that that big, it's lit up. It is, the sun is shining on it, bringing it alive in our awareness, in our consciousness. And so it's great to know some of the qualities of each of the signs of the zodiac, to know, oh, the universe is bringing this energy, really, it's highlighting it, it's bringing it forward, and we can then work with that. Okay, so as the year goes, with the spring equinox, March 19th, the sun enters Aries. The sun then travels through Taurus and Gemini. And then when the sun enters the sign of Cancer in June, around June 20th, that is the summer solstice. And then we have the three signs of the summer season in the Northern Hemisphere, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. And then when the sun moves into the sign of Libra in September on or around the 20th, we have the fall equinox. And then the three signs of the fall season are Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. And then when the sun moves into the sign of Capricorn around December 20th, 21st, at the winter solstice, we have the season that includes Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And then again, when the sun enters Aries on or around March 19th or 20th, at the spring equinox, we begin the zodiac year all over again. So Aries is the beginning of the whole zodiac. It holds that initial energy, that spark of life, that, I'm doing this with my hands, these are the sprouts that are coming up out of the ground. It's spring. There's that initial sign of life, that initial spark to get things started. And Aries qualities, so they are that of beginning or initiating. Every one of the signs that follows is the beginning of a season or follows a solstice or an equinox, like Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These are the cardinal signs. They have that beginning or initiation energy to them. Aries, like I said, is the fire element. So it is about identity and passion and spirit. And Aries, the expression for Aries is I am, really declarative. Aries has a confidence to it and a spark. It's desire and assertion and taking action. So each of the signs of the zodiac actually has a planet that is considered to be its ruler. And Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, which is that planet of action, of desire, of going for it. And so those qualities are very present in Aries as well. There's an active and adventurous, a go for it, an outward, a fast masculine yang energy to Aries. There's an urgency, there's a self-starting, a dynamic, bold, energetic, passionate, and a warrior-like energy. Mars was the god of war. And so Aries qualities are also warlike. So that assertiveness, aggression, anger, rage, outward expression in that sparky, explosive way. So when we think of each of the signs of the zodiac, there is a mature, healthy, positive expression of that energy. And then there are also other qualities that are still connected with that sign, but that might be considered more immature or a shadow expression or a more negative expression of that energy. And so probably in the words I just shared, you heard some as like, oh, that sounds good, and others that sounded, not so good. So some of the shadow qualities or the more immature expressions of that Aries energy are hasty and impulsive and maybe arrogant or too aggressive or brusque or opinionated. That Aries definitely takes action, a leap before thinking, a leap before looking, just that urge to go. That's the energy of Aries. And so when we think of partnering with that energy in ourselves, and we all have some part of our horoscope, of our birth chart, that holds the energy of Aries. And we may or may not have planets in the sign of Aries within our personal chart, but we all can call on that energy within us. These are all qualities that human beings have. And we can call on them intentionally. And this is part of my way of working with astrology, is that I see the zodiac signs and the planets really as our partners in co-creating with the cosmos, co-creating with the universe as our partner. And we can intend and bring those qualities alive in us to work with them, to do something. Like I certainly want to call on that Aries energy when I am beginning something, when I'm exerting myself and doing something physical, when I'm challenging myself in a physical way. And when we're competing for something, right? We kind of want that strong go-getter energy, that burst at the beginning, the starting place. And I want to do it more consciously. I encourage my clients to think about it this way too. How can you consciously engage the Aries energy this month? And so I want to kind of point out, using this zodiac wheel, how you can partner with the sun in Aries based on your sun sign. So those of you who are Aries, happy birthday. This is your birthday season as well as being Aries season. And this is a time that is the new beginning of your year, aligning with the beginning of the astrological year. So at some point, the sun is going to move through Aries until it hits the same degree as it was when you were born. So if you were born March 19th, you have a 0 degree Aries sun. If you were born on or around the 7th, the 5th to the 7th, you have a 15 degree Aries sun, and like that. I'm going to talk very generally, just the sign though. So when the sun is in the sign of your birth sign, it's a new year. It's like coming in and getting solar powered. The sun is meeting up with the sun and just expanding that radiance, expanding that consciousness, and giving you a new cycle around the zodiac. Those of you who have the sun in Libra, you were born 6 months later. You were born from about September 20th to October 20th, Libra. This is the opposite energy from Aries. And when the sun is opposite where it was in your birth chart, this is, it is an empowering month for you, because that sun is like directly across the zodiac from where it was in your chart. And it brings in the polarity energy, which is very complementary to the sun in Aries. And so we think of Aries as the I am, the self, that initiating about self. And Libra energy is about the other and relationship and finding a balance to things. And so for Libras, when the sun is in Aries, it brings you some more of that consciousness about yourself. One of the things for Libra folks is that they can get imbalanced. They can be too considerate of other or of the relationship, and they can kind of lose touch with their own desire and their own sense of self. So during the time that the sun is in Aries, you Libras, I want you to work with that Aries energy of grounding your energy with you and your desires, at the same time really shining your natural radiance through the Libra lens, which brings things into relationship and balance. And see what you discover. See if you don't find greater strength in bringing your Libra qualities forward when you're bringing and working with the Aries energy. Okay, another, so that's for Libras. For the other fire signs, for Sagittarius and Leo folks, supportive time of year. This is 3 months, 4 months after your birthday, 4 months after your birthday or 4 months before your birthday. And when the sun is in Aries for Sagittarians and Leos, this is a time when the sun is speaking from the universe to the sun in your chart in a really compatible way. You can like tap into that fire energy and allow it to, you know, boost your fire and energize you. For Libras, as an air sign, what does fire do to air? We learned in chemistry, or I learned in chemistry, that as air is heated up, adding the fire, the particles, the atoms, move faster. So it really energizes. Heat energizes air and expands it. So Libras, this is a time for you to feel you're getting a boost from the sun. Okay, Sagittarius and Leo, the sun is speaking your language through the fire sign lens. So use this month to really stoke your fire, stoke your passion, stoke your self-identity and tie in. So the self-identity for Aries is how's your desire and how do you go for it? For Leo, it's for being in the heart and creative expression and stepping into leadership. For Sagittarians, it's seeing the bigger picture, understanding the bigger definitions and philosophies of our identity. What is the meaning in the world, and seeking that out. So allow that spark of energy from Aries to bring out your best qualities as a fire sign. Okay, let's talk about the other signs. Okay, Capricorn and Cancer. So Aries is here, and the axis of Aries to Leo is perpendicular to the axis of Capricorn and Cancer. So this is 3 months after your birthday or before your birthday, depending. So for Capricorn, it's 3 months after your birthday, and for Cancers, Aries is 3 months before your birthday. So this forms an aspect or a pattern in the zodiac that's 90 degrees, or a square. So Aries to Cancer is a square, and Aries to Capricorn is a square. And so Capricorns and Cancers during this time will have a similar feeling of the sun in Aries. Is going to feel kind of challenging to you. It's so different than your element. Air and, fire of Aries and the earth of Capricorn, they're not very compatible. And fire and water, Aries and Cancer, not very compatible. So there's got to be an adjustment. Capricorn, practical, solid, reliable, wanting to do the right thing, do the right next thing, and building a foundation and a structure. Slow and steady is Capricorn. Aries is fast and not thinking. And so you can see how those energies are not really on the same page. So there needs to be some adjustment for Capricorn during Aries season. And for Cancers during Aries season, there's also a sort of an incompatibility. So Cancers are a water sign. Cancers are known for their emotional sensitivity, their ability to take things in and feel it and respond and nurture and care for. And that softness, that sensitivity, and that responsiveness is very different from that Aries direction, impulse, assertiveness, and go for it. Those energies are just very different. They can work well together. The thing with the square is the energies really like galvanize each other. There's a coming together, and there has to be some kind of an adjustment, and both energies can work in a stronger way. Okay, so I invite those of you who are Capricorns or Cancers to really work with the Aries energy in a way to strengthen who you are, to strengthen your confidence in expressing the Capricorn qualities or the Cancer qualities. But use that passionate fire to help you claim who you are and express that out in the world. That's true for all of us. Okay, what about the other water signs? So if for Cancer it's challenging, for Pisces, Aries energy is the next sign. Pisces has just had their birthday, and now Aries is the kind of get started with your personal new year. It's familiar, it's next door energy, you know? So there's sort of it just sort of keeps you going, you know? And with Aries, Pisces has the dream and the emotional field and the feeling and the compassion and understanding. And then that Aries fire says, and what are you going to do because of your compassion and your love for everyone? What are you going to do from your field of unconditional love? Let's put it into action, says Aries. And for the Taurus folks, it's also next door energy. Aries is the month before your birthday. And for all of us, the month before our birthday is the end of our personal zodiac year. And so it's a month to rest and relax, integrate everything that's come before in the year. So this is a little bit challenging because Aries is the beginning energy, and yet for you Taurus folks, it's the end of your cycle. So I want you to kind of think about that and see what you come up with. But the way I think of it is that Aries is that spark of life, that initiating life, that urge or the spark, the fire. And Taurus is the growing. And the sign is the middle sign of spring. So it's very much about the earth and the growth and the coming into fullness. Okay, so how can you use the inspiration of Aries to grow into who you are, Taurus? How can you express the natural beauty and sensuality and pleasure of that Taurus energy that you hold and that you're here to embody and express? Okay. I want to talk next about the other air signs. So Libra is the opposite to Aries. And then Aquarius and Gemini are 2 signs away from Aries. So 2 months after Aquarian's birthday is Aries, and 2 months before Gemini's birthday is Aries energy. And when signs are 2 signs away from each other, there's a compatibility, a natural compatibility. And so the compatibility between fire signs and air signs is that they are both masculine or yang outward facing energies. They have that outward expression. They feed one another. Air feeds fire and fire vitalizes the air. So there's a compatibility there. So both Geminis and Aquarians can tap into the Aries energy to spark their thinking, spark the thoughts, spark the communication, spark for Geminis that curiosity and that mental agility in communication, and for Aquarians the innovation, the problem solving, and the community building energies of Aquarius. You both can tap into the passion and the identity that the Sun in Aries brings this month. Okay, the 2 I haven't mentioned are Scorpio and Virgo. So when the Sun is in Aries, its relationship to both Scorpio and Virgo is 30 degrees off from directly across. So this is what we call an inconjunct. It is 150 degrees of arc. So if we had our protractor in here, we would measure Aries to Scorpio is 150 degrees, and Aries to Virgo is 150 degrees. And that energy is a bit confusing. It's I think of it like, so straight on opposite, Aries to Libra, that they're speaking the same, yang masculine energy, and they're feeding one another. They're at polar opposites of that polarity, but they get each other. Well, Scorpio and Virgo, earth and water, we've talked about, they don't really get it with fire. So there's really an adjustment that happens, but you can still pull on the energy from Aries. So as a water sign, Scorpio relates to Aries. So Scorpio is depth and passion and conviction, mystery and its power. And so that has a commonality with Aries through the planet Mars. So Scorpios, your ruling planets are Mars and Pluto. So actually this month to Scorpios feels pretty energizing. There's that familiarity of like, oh yeah, this is a Mars time of year. I can take action. I can go for it. I can really assert myself in that empowered way that is so Scorpio. Virgo and Aries, a little different. So Virgo as an earth sign is about integrity and discernment and creating and being able to perceive the order in chaos. And Virgo likes to make sense of things, make things more efficient, restore things to wholeness and integrity. That's the desire of Virgo. So Virgo, you can work with this Aries energy to energize, activate that desire for wholeness, to bring the energy and the passion to increasing integrity, the strength of your health, the strength of Virgo qualities, of critical thinking and discernment, of creating categories and systems and ways of putting things in order, ideas and physical things. Virgos, this is a great time of year to really, in the interest of health and your body, and increasing function and wholeness, Aries really vitalizes the physical body. Get the exercise, get your heart pumping, bring that passion and that action in. So that will help support Virgos this month. So I'm looking. I think I've mentioned every sign of the zodiac and how you can partner with the sun in Aries. So if that felt like way too much information, know that you really only needed to pay attention to, I probably should have said this at the beginning, your sun sign and how it interacts with Aries energy. But know that all of us, no matter where our sun is in our chart, we all have as a partner through the sun in Aries. All of us can harness the Aries energy of getting something started, of putting ourselves forward, of declaring who we are, of expressing that desire and that surety and taking a risk and outward and going quick, like just do something. I found this really hard to get started to do this class or this video because the sun's in Pisces. It wants me to like surrender and relax and like let it all go today. So, but I didn't want to wait until the sun moved into Aries because I want to get this to you. But the sun is our most steady companion, right? The sun is there at the center of our solar system, shining, giving off its warmth, its heat, its life-giving energy. And we can have a daily relationship with the sun, no matter what the weather is. So on a sunny day, it's easy, you know where it is. And you can imagine the sun shining on you through the lens of that zodiac sign, whatever it's in. That's the awareness the sun is bringing us. On cloudy, rainy, snowy days, like it is here today, I have to imagine, or I can just know, oh, it's light outside. The sun is there coming to me through the lens of Aries and bringing me those qualities. So you can have a relationship with the sun every day. And just because the sun goes down and we don't see it doesn't mean we're not still in that energy. The moon, our other luminary, has a monthly relationship with the sun and the moon cycle, which I talk about frequently in my newsletters, my Facebook group, Your Stellar Life, and which I really follow, is the other celestial body we can have a personal relationship with. We can observe the cycle and observe, oh, this is what it's like when the sun and moon are together. We can't see the moon. It's that beginning idea or intention like Aries. At the quarter moon, we can see half of it. Half of it's illuminated. So that's what it feels like to Cancer and Capricorn when the sun is in Aries. Like half of them gets that energy, but they don't fully see it. Libra is like the full moon. When the sun is opposite where it is in your chart, that's like a full moon, full conscious awareness on both sides, and they help each other have a greater expression, a greater balance. And then the third quarter moon, like when the sun is in Capricorn for you. So following the sun is primarily. And the thing is, in your chart, and this is for people who have seen an astrology chart or you've had a reading, I encourage you to look for where Aries is in your chart. What house of the zodiac is Aries for you? And that will bring in another layer of understanding. Oh, Aries for me, so my chart, I have a Pisces rising chart. And for me, Aries is partly my first house, part of my identity, and part of the second house, how I value myself, how I create value in the world, what's important to me, and how I generate resources is by accessing that passion and that independent drive of Aries energy. And I've always been a kind of either an entrepreneur and self-employed, or an independent contractor, or that just starting something new has been a big part of who I am. And that's partly of having it in the first house and the second house. So I encourage you, what the sun moves consistently around your chart. So each house of your zodiac is highlighted at a certain time of year. I kind of feel like I'm getting out of the depth of this, what I want this conversation to be. So just a quick recap. The sun is Aries from March 19th to April 19th. This is bringing to our consciousness the aliveness and the vitality through the Aries energies. That Aries archetype is, again, beginnings, the fire element of passion and spirit and desire, and it is assertive and fast, dynamic and bold. So this is a great time of year to start something new. Okay, I want you to partner with the sun this month, and I encourage you to really let the archetype of Aries speak to you and encourage you and light the fire within you. Thanks so much. If this has been intriguing and helpful, and you would like to learn more specifically what is going to be happening this month astrologically and how you personally and specifically can work with that, I'm creating a pilot program of astro coaching, a blend of astrology and coaching, for a group of people who want to come together twice a month on Zoom, a group classroom like this, where I will talk about other planetary relationships during this Aries season, the astrology of each week, and how we can make the most of it based on our own charts and how that's going. I know worldwide, this is a time of great uncertainty. And I know too that following astrology and having some coaching and guidance to find your center, to find your strength and your optimism and your hope, your values, can really help you weather this virus, weather this business not as usual that we're all in right now. And so I invite you to join me. It's going to be a class throughout this period, March 19th to April 19th, 2-hour-long classes, and the option to have a highly discounted 30-minute private session with me to really orient you to your chart and how to make the most of the astrology of this month. So the 2 classes and the materials that will be sent weekly to the group is only $37. And again, another $37 as the discount from $50 for a 30-minute private session with me. I will include written information and oh my gosh, I jumped to how do I do that technology-wise? I'll figure it out. But Hope this has been helpful. With the sun through the zodiac, starting with the sun in Aries at the beginning of the astrological year. Happy equinox, friends, and happy Aries season. Take care.